Hello, Jenna here. Welcome back. Today I have something really special that I'm going to show you. It is the inspiration for the new pen case that is coming out very soon, and it is this. So I found this on eBay. I made an offer, and he accepted the offer, or she. I don't know, but they accepted the offer, and it's mine now. So this is a World War II era inspector's pocket kit from the Signal Corps U.S. Army. And it was in better shape when I got it, kind of, but not really. And so let me just show you what's going on with it. So this is about 77 years old. It has a lot of character, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I love stuff like this. It also has a lot of dirt, so the first thing I'm going to do is clean it. I've already gave it one cleaning, but it needs another one. And the thing with stuff like this is you don't want to go ham on the cleaner. And I'm going to use a special cleaner for this because I don't want to use saddle soap. Saddle soap has glycerin in it sometimes, and I don't want any glycerin to come anywhere near this leather. So, and I'll show you that in a second. But this is the inspiration for, well, that shows up a lot better on camera than it does in person. Like you can see this where it's patinaed because the flap was covering it. So this is veg tan leather, and as you can see, the snap came out. It just came out. Like I went to open it and it popped right out. So that's not good. It's over here, and I'm worried to pry that apart because it's going to pull that out, and I have to pull that out anyway, but I'm not ready to do that. So anywho, the stitching is very, very fine, and I don't have picking irons that are that small, so I'm gonna have to figure something out, and that'll be a problem for future me, not present me. So let's look at the inside. Okay, so this is the back part of the pocket, or not even a pocket, the whatever that is, panel. So that it goes like that. And then over here we have this, and some sort of implements would go here. Whatever an inspector would need. I don't know, a measuring tape, a gauge. I don't know what inspectors need in the Army, but there we go. And it's missing some leather pieces here and here, and the stitching is completely rotted. It looks like they used orange cotton thread. This is definitely cotton. And the snap completely corroded the, let me see if I can, there we go. The snap completely corroded the, all over. It was a lot worse yesterday. I've cleaned it up just a little bit, but then I decided to stop because I thought people were asking on Instagram to see the process, so I thought, well, I better stop because I'm not recording, and I should be recording this so you can see. But as you can see, the brass snap has just got that verdigris all over the place, and that's really not good for leather. It will eat away at the leather, and so I'm going to not use this because I'm going to replace this with something I will use because this doesn't really fit what I want to carry in here. So it's actually kind of serendipitous that it's falling apart because this gives me an opportunity to change it so that I can use it for me. So it's kind of a good thing. but yeah, so as you like, like listen. Yeah. The stitches are completely rotted. So it looks like they used just plain cotton thread that doesn't have any wax or anything on it. Like not even waxed cotton. It's just plain old cotton. And I don't know if I can get it out. I think I do have some orange thread, so I probably will stitch it up with the same color because I want to keep it as original as I can. But yeah, so see, it's just plain cotton thread, nothing fancy. But I also need this piece here And I'm going to cut it apart with a knife. I don't have one right now, but you can see the glue that they used is also coming off. And yeah, so these are the parts. So I'm going to patch this up because I can't put another snap on it if I don't patch it up. So I'm going to patch that up. I will be replacing this snap here, and I will replace all of the insides. I will keep these original pieces here. So these flat parts I will keep, but these two panels I'm going to rebuild into something that I know I will use. And this leather is split leather. It's not full grain at all, it's split. The top is completely gone. It's actually quite thin. Let me see how thin. Yeah, so it's 1.7 millimeters thick, so it's quite thin. And the outer part is 2.1 millimeters thick. Yeah, I'm looking at it right. So it's thicker on the outside than on the inside, and that's fine. But I think that all the gussets are still here, so that's nice. I have the gussets. I'm not going to use them, but I could if I wanted to. But the stitching is completely gone on this one, so yeah, it just peels right off. So comes off easy. If it doesn't come off easy, then I'll use a knife. But yeah, so there's where we are. I need to kind of clean it, so I'm gonna get started with that. I don't know. I have this little doodad here, and it probably will work. I'm not going to show you every single step because that would be probably about a 6-hour video, but I will show you the progress. How's that? So, and you can see they cut grooves in here, which I don't have a problem with at all. It doesn't weaken the integrity of it. I know some people, though, I've done that in the past to some notebooks, and it worries people. They think that it's going to not, that it's going to lessen the lifespan of the notebook because it has a groove cut in it. But I promise you, this is 77 years old. That groove is not what's wrong with this. So, and I don't even know if you can see it on camera, but it's like there's a groove that goes from here to here and another one over here. There's also grooves cut in the flaps, like right here there's a groove, and over here as well. So it's part of leather work. Sometimes you need to cut a groove so that the leather moves the way you need it to. Yeah. But this is going to be a slow process. It's probably going to take me several days to do, just because I have other things I have to do too, and I can't just devote like 6 to 8 hours on this. But that's about how long it would take. So be careful, if you're on eBay looking for stuff like this, be really careful because unless it's been refurbished, the stitching is probably rotten, and it's hard to tell from a video, okay, or a photo. And it's hard to tell what condition it's really in. Like, I could not tell by looking at the seller's photos what condition this is in. I figured it probably was in poor condition given its age. However, and that's why I made the offer that I made, and it's probably why they accepted the offer, because they knew what condition it was in. And, they had in their description that it was used and old and all of that stuff, but they didn't say anything about the stitches being rotten or anything like that. So they probably didn't know, because I kind of lifted a little bit of a corner to look at a groove I lifted like a corner here to look at the groove, and I saw some green, like there was some like green gunk in the corner, and I kind of lifted it a little bit to kind of like peel it back a little bit, and the whole thing just popped right off. So I was like, oh, okay, so stitching is rotten. So leather will last a very long time, but cotton thread doesn't last very long at all. I use nylon cotton, or bonded nylon is what I use to sew all of my stuff with, because it doesn't rot, and it also doesn't get brittle. So, and I think that's kind of what happened with this stitching. So anyway, I will clean all of that out, and for now let's give this a nice cleaning and see what kind of comes off, what we can do. Okay, so I have a microfiber cloth, and I got this, and I've been using this for about a week now. I saw somebody use it on a Hermes bag, and I thought, well, if it's good enough for them, then it's good enough for me. And so I'm gonna clean it with this. It's for leather and textile, and you can use it on suede. So I'm giving it a shot. I bought it on Amazon. I'm going to put it on the cloth and kind of like work it into the cloth a little bit if I can. There we go. Probably should use gloves. I don't know if I'm allergic to this, but okay. So here we go. I have a feeling that this over here is dirt, but we're just going to clean. And I do like this cleaner. I will put a link in the description for this exact one. I don't know how to say it though. I think it's colonel. I think that's how it's said. Ugh. I really, really shouldn't have done this. Oh, I regret this. Probably not going to come clean. Okay. Let's leave. Well, I guess next time you see me, I'll have a different desktop. Okay. Well, since this is ruined, I'm just going to continue ruining it because, yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. I got the little crusty bits off there, so that's good. So now the leather is slightly damp, so I need to be very careful with it so that I don't put anything on it or anything sharp or anything like that, because it will imprint on the leather because it's vegetable tan leather and it's damp, so I have to be very careful. But before it dries, I want to put this on here. This is the Saphir Creme Universal Leather Balm, and I love this stuff. So I'm going to find a clean spot, and I'll have a link for that as well, to this exact one if I can find it. I've had this for a while, but I'm going to put it on there while it's still damp, and then I'm going to let this dry while I go work out what these are. So, and I'm going to put on 2 thin coats, and then we're going to call it good. I am going to also treat the inside, but not with that. So I have a I have a different product I'll put on the inside, but I'm going to wait for this to dry before I do that. So that's going to look stunning when it's done. I would like to introduce you to Captain Gideon. Gideon spent decades slowly deteriorating in storage, and now that he's been restored, he behaves as though he personally survived a major military campaign, and frankly, nobody has the heart to tell him otherwise. So, Captain Gideon here has been completely redone. The only original pieces are the outside pieces that you can see, and everything else is new. Here are his previous insides. So that is what brass rust, basically, is what that is, will do to leather if left in a somewhat damp environment. Always keep your leather dry. So, and you can see the orange thread here is cotton thread, and it was completely rotted. Like, it just, I can just pull it apart. Yeah. So anyway, had to get that out, and then the insides layout was not working for what I want to use it for, so I redid it, and I'll show you what I did. Also, do you like my new tabletop? I tried to clean the other one, and there was no cleaning it. I must have scrubbed it for 10 minutes with a bunch of different things, and yeah, so instant regret, right? But, so here we go. I did have to give him a new snap because the old snap just ripped right out of the leather. Here it is right here. So here we go. The insides are all new, and I did fill it up with my tools that I will be using with it. These are the tools that I reach for the most and I use the most. So I went ahead and made a compartment for them specifically. I always have to have a ruler. This is a pen and then a pencil, and the pencil has an eraser, so I don't worry about having room for an eraser. And then of course my different measuring tools. I have this and then a square in here. So very simple, but this is what works for me and what I need. And I see that I didn't stitch on this one. Now let me tell you, this was, you know, and also it has the number 1 stamped on every single one of these. I don't know what that's for, but it's got it over here too. I don't know why, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, so here he is in all his glory. He is what inspired this. Okay, so beautiful. I love it. And so let me tell you why I'll never do this again. So I will never purchase this old of leather again, even though it still has some life in it. But if it has to be restored, I'm not going to be the one to restore it. Okay, this does not give me joy. This gives me stress, and I don't need more stress in my life. So this was extremely frustrating to work on. And inside looks nice. Like, all the stitches look fairly straight. I did use the cut side of the leather, so this is the cut off part, the part we throw away, and I have a lot of it because we do thin out many of our leathers for different purposes. And so I was like, if that's what, you know, because that's what this is. And so I thought, well, if it worked for 77 years on here, I'll give it a shot. Why not? Just give it a try. And so I did. And well, it's extremely hard to work with. It stretches and moves, and it doesn't hold its shape very well at all. But I managed to get through it. Not hard. I mean, it was hard, and I don't want to do it again. So I'm not going to. I will not be purchasing something this old for the purpose of refurbishing ever again. No, thank you. I will leave that to someone else who enjoys doing that. That's not me. I'm not that person. So, yeah. But uh, George Brackenhog, I think that's your name, from 1949. Um, Thank you for this beautiful piece. I love that it's historic, and I love that it's mine now. And was it all worth it? Yes, I think it was worth it in the end. I wish that it could have turned out better on the outside, because this just looks terrible, and it's because the leather is just not in good shape at all. It's nothing like stitching on new leather. Nothing at all like it. So if I could have done hand stitching, I would have, but I couldn't. So yeah, if you hand stitch it and go into the exact same holes that were there before, you probably would have a better result than I had. But as it is, I'm happy with it. I'm going to use it, and it's compact and nice, and it's a piece of history, and it is stunning. I love the leather. I love every single mark, and you can see here like part of the rot setting in. Like the leather there is, I don't want to pick at it, but the leather there is kind of flaky. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can focus on it. Nope. But it doesn't want to focus. Anyway, if right there you can kind of see that it's not in good shape right there. So I will probably treat it with some 100% pure neat's foot oil just to moisturize the leather. I would not use leather CPR on it. I feel like leather CPR gets a lot of hype, but I wouldn't use it on this. I will use some pure neat's foot oil sparingly. I'm not going to drench it in it. And I will be sure to keep it out of a moist environment and keep it nice and dry. And it will be with me pretty much all the time because I draw constantly, and I'm constantly, planning out different products and everything in my notebook. And I like to use my tools when I get a sketch that I like to make it look as real as I can, just to visualize it a little more. And that's what I would use this for. So eventually this one is going to look very similar to this one, and I'm excited for that transformation to happen. Might I hurry it along? Well, yes, I might. But if I don't, it's totally fine. Like I have my notebook here, which used to look like this, believe it or not. And I take, number one rule, take it with you everywhere. Like I have somewhere in here, I have the rules for a notebook. I left a few pages blank in case I ever want to put in an index. Yes, here they are. My 5 rules for journals is to take it with you everywhere you go. Open your journal, not your phone. The journal is to be of service, not to be served. Pages are not meant to be perfect. You have permission to be messy. Record anything that interests you. And 5, never compare your journal to others. Any mark on a page counts. So those are my 5 rules for this journal, and it does go with me everywhere. I can honestly say that. And it's seen a thing or two. And it started out like this one. And now it's like this. And it's only been like a month and a half or something like that. I don't even know. I'm trying to see how far I've come. Yeah, so that far in that much of a notebook. Yeah, so, but yeah, a lot of fun. So eventually this will look like that and a little more like this. I don't know what color this started out as. Probably brown. probably a light brown color. And hopefully with a little neat's foot oil and some love for me, it will last another 25 years. That's what I'm hoping. So I hope that you enjoyed kind of seeing this. I'm sorry I didn't take you along for every single step, but trust me, it wasn't that exciting. And in fact, I forgot to stitch this one, so I'm going to have to go back and stitch that one on. Although I might just leave it. Yeah, I might just leave it because I don't really like to stitch this leather. It upsets me. So, and I wish I could have stitched it from this side, but doing that, I would have missed the leather on this side. And how, I don't know, but I tried it and I did miss it on that side, and that's how I know that I had to stitch it from this side. So anyway, unless you have a way to restore old leather, don't buy these, okay? Unless they've already been refurbished. Don't buy these unless you have a way to restore it. Otherwise, it will fall apart. You will be sad, and you won't be able to use it. And it's pretty expensive to have them refurbished, so be careful. Also, these are vastly overpriced online, like over $200 for some of them that I've seen, and they're not refurbished. So just be warned, okay? Really ask the seller about the condition of it. You know, if the stitching has rotted, or if the corrosion, if you see verdigris, that is corrosion or rust, brass rust, basically. And, if you see that, chances are it's not good. Like the inside of here, which was from this side of the snap, okay, with his, now he's got a cute little belly button tattoo, but anyway, this was completely rusted from the old snap, which was this guy right here. Okay, and I cleaned it up a little bit. It says USF on it, but this was just completely covered in green. I actually cleaned this up a little bit, and that will eat away at the leather, which is one of the reasons why I didn't use this piece, because I didn't want to reuse it, because I didn't want to deal with that there. So if you see the verdigris, it might look like this inside, but you can't tell because you can't see it from this side. So be careful. Be very, very careful. And just be cautious. I won't be doing this again. I can tell you that right now. But I still love it. I still love it. So no regrets. My only regret is not putting something down on my surface when I started cleaning this, because I can't get that surface clean, and I'm kind of sad about it. But oh well, it is what it is, All right. Stay tuned, because I do have a friend that I want to introduce you to. She's a new friend, and you haven't met her before. And so stay tuned for that. And yeah, let me just... So let me introduce you to Jasmine. Jasmine was born spring of 2026. Her occupation is the keeper of important things. Her favorite drink is tea that has gone cold because she got distracted. Her favorite flower is jasmine, obviously. She finds roses a little showy. Her special skill is remembering where you put that tiny piece of paper 6 months ago. A little on her biography. Jasmine is never in a hurry. She believes good ideas arrive on their own schedule and should never be rushed. Most mornings you can find her sitting by a sunny window with a notebook in her lap, quietly collecting grocery lists, book recommendations, and pressed flowers, ticket stubs, and thoughts that seem important at the time. Her friends say that she's impossible to fluster. When someone says, "I can't find it anywhere," Jasmine simply smiles and opens to the exact page. She has a weakness for fountain pens, old maps, and handwritten letters. She insists that every scrap of paper deserves at least one chance before getting thrown away. Her greatest fear is being mistaken for an ordinary notebook. Her greatest accomplishment was preserving a shopping list from 2018 that later turned out to contain the winning recipe for a family Thanksgiving pie. She keeps a small collection of secrets, but only the harmless kind. And her favorite saying is, "Put it in the notebook. Future you will be grateful you did." Rumors persist that Jasmine knows exactly where your missing pen is. Jasmine refuses to comment. All fun aside, this is our new leather for June. And, well, it comes out June. It will come in all of our designs, just like the Blackberry before this came out. I just have these in front of you because I didn't want to overwhelm myself with all the different leathers. So let me tell you, the Jasmine is a creamy, buttery yellow color, and she is a chrome tan leather. So her color is going to stay like this for as long as your hands are clean. She will get marks on her. She already has some beauty marks here. You can see there's one there and one here. If you like pristine, perfect leather, Jasmine is not for you. But if you like leather that has a little character, then you will love her. She's soft and huggable. She's quite thick. And this is a B6 Slim. It has the Jibun Techo in it. And she just feels really, really nice. So very, very soft feeling leather. Makes a great folio. And you can tell it's chrome tan, all right, because you will see gray on the inside of any leather that we split down. So anytime you see that gray color, you know that is a chrome tan leather. Now, that's not the only way to tell if it's a chrome tan leather, because some chrome tan leathers are drum dyed and they are completely saturated with the dye. So it's no longer gray because it has been dyed. This is surface dyed, so it's not like that. Of course, we have our cute little Nano. Love her. She's adorable. And if you've never seen a Nano before, I put one in each pocket, and then there's one in the middle. So very nice. And of course, we'll have it in the Sidekick. We'll also have it in the Cascade and Cascade folios as well. We'll have those. Everything we had in the Blackberry, we will have in Jasmine as well. So this is the Sidekick, which holds personal sized inserts. And that is what the Sidekick looks like. It has a zipper in the back. And we chose white as a contrast, and I love it. So yes, this will be going up next week. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter, because I will let you know all the details in the newsletter for sure. But this is your introduction to the leather. It is, let me get a thickness of it, and I have to do it in the Nano because the Nano is the only one that has not been split. So it's 2 millimeters thick, or 5 ounces. That's how thick it is. It doesn't scratch. So yeah, it's a nice sturdy leather that's going to look pale and beautiful for a very long time. Just keep your hands clean, because oils from your hands will mark it. And then this here, I spot cleaned with a little bit of this because it had a smudge on it, and it did lessen it, but it's still there. And I'm not bothered by that, because stuff like that is what eventually turns into stuff like this. And you know, if you don't know by now, I'm totally all about that. So if you're not all about that, I would avoid this kind of leather. I would avoid this leather specifically, because it probably will color with water spots and, you know, whatever. It probably will discolor. But you can put a protectant on it. I can treat it with this, which isn't too much of a protectant, but it would do a little bit. Also, I can treat it with like an acrylic protectant, and that will help keep water at bay and keep it nice. But it's it feels so nice in the hands. It's just soft and squishy, and it just feels like a hug. And she's a sweet little Jasmine, ready to add to your collection and bring you lots of joy while you're journeying through whatever path in life you're on right now. So I hope that this brings a little brightness to your day.